First of all, before I talk about the Holocaust, I am going to remind you again, how Hitler was able to convince the German people to go through this of the Holocaust. How was he able to do it? Propaganda, mass media, right? And the first 10 minutes of the video clip today is all about how he does that. So please make sure that you pay attention to that, okay? So, the Holocaust. Really, the first thing that we need to know is in 1935, something is passed called the Nuremberg Laws. Nuremberg is a city in Germany. And the Nuremberg Laws was the beginning of the legal segregation of Jews from the rest of the German society. How did they show that they were Jewish? The yellow star, very good. So the Nuremberg Laws basically says that everybody has to, if you were Jewish, you have to wear the yellow Star of David, and it needs to be on the outside so that everybody can see. What did the star say?
Did you say Jew on it?
Yeah, except it's German. So in 1935, the segregation has begun. Not only did the Nuremberg Laws say, hey, you got to show that you're Jewish, it also removed Jews from public office, okay? It began to say that Jews could not go to public school with the Aryan, the master, the German race, okay? So, I mean, this was segregation throughout all of society. Miller?
I think I read something that it was kind of vague of, like, if you were Jewish or not, like if you had a certain number of, like, grandparents.
We will see in the video, but it was almost like that thing that you do in biology, right? Like that ancestry chart kind of thing, in which you would go back and it would say, okay, you had to be a quarter or an eighth or a 16th or something. You'll see one guy said, I was told that I was 1/8 or 1/16 a descendant of the mongrel race. And even though he wasn't technically Jewish, because he had enough Jewish blood in his heritage, he was therefore labeled a Jew, okay, and cast out of the master race or society. Okay.
So did they actually, like, go through the...
They did.
Seems like a lot of work.
That's the whole point, though, right? Yeah. The Nuremberg Laws continue until throughout, but in 1938, you have another big event, and I'm sure you all know, okay, but this idea of Kristallnacht, Night of Broken Glass.
What my speaker's about.
Perfect.
No, that was... Oh, that was
Kristallnacht, we'll see this in the video as well, but this is the destruction of the Jewish businesses. They literally went through the storefronts, broke the glass, looted the stores, ruined the stores. So now the Jews can't get a job because of the Nuremberg Laws, and now they don't have any money because their stores have been ruined. Germans were not allowed to shop at Jewish businesses. Now that the Jews have been fully relegated to second-class citizenship, it is going to be a lot easier for Hitler to begin to collect these Jews into the ghettos. The biggest ghetto was the Warsaw Ghetto in Poland. You have tens of thousands of Jews living within about 2 city blocks, living on top of each other. 10, 20, 30 people in a room. Now that they have been warded off and now that they have been collected, it's going to be a lot easier to begin in 1939 after the ghettos, starting to put them into these concentration camps. Please note at the beginning of the war, which was 1939, September 1st, 1939, these concentration camps, they were work camps. Now, certainly, they didn't get a lot of food, and those that were not able to work were immediately executed. But for the most part, if you went to the concentration camp and you were quote-unquote healthy, you were living within these concentration camps for a couple of years. The concentration camps did not turn over until death camps until halfway through the war, and especially after the Allied invasion in Normandy at D-Day. I think I told you this the other day, but it makes it even more tragic that they were able to live through this. And then right near the end, when there was light at the end of the tunnel, then the concentration camps flip over to the death camps. And it's from these concentration camps that Hitler issues in 1941 his idea of the final solution. The final solution to all of the world's problems. How do we solve the world's problems? Well, we need to eradicate the Jewish race. We need to truly create our master race. And then by 1943-44, when Hitler knows that he's going to lose the war, he starts taking wartime funds and putting it towards the death camps. He might lose World War II, but he's going to win the bigger war of creating the master race. And he almost gets there.
Why was it? I mean, I know that there was like the whole like blame on like economic stuff and like that, but was it just because was Hitler mainly just hoping to rely upon tapping historic anti-Semitism in order to gain power?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was part of it. I think the failures of the Weimar Republic was part of it. And then you have to realize that, you know, these Germans have been down in the gutter for so long, so that, you know, when he wins them over by improving the economy, then he can start, you know, really starting to take a right turn to crazy town. And by that point, the people have been sucked in enough to whatever's coming out of their mouths is what they're going to believe. On top of which, the secret police, the Hitler Youth, all that kind of stuff, through the mass media and propaganda, they're convincing these people, or they're doing it at gunpoint.
But yeah, that kind of leads into my second question. From what I've seen of like historical reports and stuff on Nazi Germany, it's like a completely different society to pre-World War I and post-World War II Germany. How is Hitler able to manufacture such a change in the culture so quickly?
Let's watch the first 10 minutes, and hopefully that can answer your question. Okay. Any questions on our timeline? I don't do movies a lot, but this certainly is going to tell the story far more than I can. Do me a favor and leave the notes out, because if there's stuff on the propaganda or whatever that you would like to jot down, you can. Okay? For those of you watching, watch the YouTube clips online. And thank Abby. Signing off.